Oregon State is looking for a football coach. Scott Barnes, the athletic director, telling me he will hire a search firm. They will form a committee. They'll eventually begin interviewing candidates. Somebody I'd want to interview if I were Oregon State is Nick Rolovich, the former Washington State and Hawaii coach. He's currently at Cal as a consultant. Yes, I know there was a messy departure in Pullman. There was a lawsuit involved. There were a lot of bad feelings. But I have to think that Nick Rolovich is somebody Oregon State would be interested in talking with. He knows the western part of the United States. He's recruited it. He could recruit Hawaii and bring Polynesian players to Oregon State. He understands the New World Pac-12 schools. He competed against a lot of them when he was in the Mountain West. If I'm Oregon State, Rolo's someone I want to talk with. Now, who is the guy? What is he about? 5 years ago, I did a one-on-one interview with Rolo. We talked about his family. We talked about his upbringing. We talked about his playing days, his community college ties. I think it's a pretty interesting glimpse at who he is. Take a listen to it. You tell me in the comment section, is Nick Rolovich someone that Oregon State should be bringing in for an interview? Washington State football coach Nick Rolovich joining us from, I think, one of the best college towns in America, Pullman. Coach, how are you?
Good. I like the intro music. I like the intro statement. Solid. Solid start to the program.
So far, we got a first down on the first series, didn't we?
That's right.
Hey, at the beginning of the game, you want the ball. You want to go on defense. What's your typical philosophy?
Wow, you just run right to it, huh? Just not even ease me in, huh? Jeez. Can we go get dinner first? Hey, I like to take the ball most of the times, but it's a discussion we have every week.
Yeah, and I think anybody who's an offensive guy, and you were an offensive guy as a player, probably wants to go on offense. As a player, you wanted to go on offense, didn't you?
Yeah, unless there's a strategic reason, I think like team like Air Force, right? You get behind and you got to put some points on the board and stay with them. So I think there's some weekly strategy with it.
Coach,
I heard you got some info for me. What do you got for me?
Well,
somebody said you had Jonathan on yesterday.
I feel I did, and I feel like I'm being used because all right, I'll tell you what he
a little bit.
I'll tell you what he told me. Okay, he said they were practicing trick plays. They're practicing quarterback catching passes. They're practicing quarterback punting. But I don't think he would come on air and tell me that if that was something that he really wanted to surprise you with, right? Or it's
kind of the old oops-a-daisy. I let it slip. I got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they showed stuff on film. I think we played them at Hawaii last year, and I thought their end of a game play was as good as I've seen as far as how creative and how effective it could have been. But yeah, they definitely have that element of their offense, the quick kick. I can see that. We saw that on film. So I think he was speaking the truth to you.
You guys are a little bit of a mystery, and I'm kind of wondering, like, they can go back and they can look at Hawaii film on offense. They're probably watching Wyoming film on defense. Your personnel, because of 2020 and COVID, I don't know how much people have seen of your practice and your personnel. Is that an advantage for you guys? Be a little bit of a mystery?
I like it. I'm a little mysterious, getting on the plane.
Yeah.
I think it'll just be, what I think it's going to be, because I do think he's done a good job the last couple of years for sure. I think it's a different program that he took when he took it over. You got continuity staff-wise. You got young players, especially that linebacker group, right? They're getting a year older, well coached by Bray. I mean, I think they had a real quiet off season. I know we're mysterious, but they were very quiet with what was going on. I think they just had their head down and working. So I'm expecting the best Oregon State team in a few years for sure.
When you go in as a first-year guy, you've been a first-year head coach before, but how different is it when you're jumping to a new conference? You knew University of Hawaii, you were familiar with that. How different is it going to Pullman?
Right, but one thing, and I think everyone struggles with this a little bit, or most people in their lives in different scenarios, the imposter syndrome. You get over that quicker. Your first time head coach, they hire me just because it's my alma mater. I played quarterback here. Am I really ready to be a head coach? You have those thoughts, and you just got to talk yourself out of them and say that you belong. And so it wasn't as apparent this year. Plus, there was enough distractions with COVID and everything that's happened. So we just had to put our head down and work also.
That same goes for radio. 13 years ago, I was looking around going, they gave me a radio show? Like, and you fake it till you make it. And then...
Well, you just got to tell yourself you're meant to do it. You're here for a reason.
I should have called you. Nick Rolovich.
We're here, boy.
Nick Rolovich is with us. What did you learn going out, buying pizzas, sitting down with kind of your fan base and getting to know people?
Well, I didn't get to sit down with too many of them other than the bar in Seattle. But I'm a big pay-it-forward guy. I like the ability to do a nice gesture and encourage that person to do something. Maybe it's not at the same level or not, but take some positivity with them on their day, and hopefully that affects somebody down the road. It's a small community. People care about each other. So during tough times, I think it's whether it's a football coach or somebody else in the community. And there's plenty of people in this community that have done wonderful things for each other, to kind of hold it together. And I think it's really evident when you're talking about Hawaii and how a whole island chain relies on each other, day in and day out, and there's a mutual respect. And I think with a small town, there's a similar aspect.
I look at your history. By the way, City College of San Francisco. I was a De Anza College kid, so I know that's a great program. That is like a national championship level junior college program. High school, you're at Marin Catholic. They win there. Have you ever struggled? Have you ever lost as a kid, a little league team? Have you been on a team that struggled?
I've been blessed to not be on a ton of losing programs. And when I did my first year at Hawaii, that was my own fault. I didn't take it serious. Like you said, I came from City College, had a great career, great team, great success, and kind of probably needed to get humbled a little bit, and I was, because I felt like, okay, now I deserve a scholarship. Didn't get one out of high school. I'm in Hawaii, just turned 21. Let's roll, D1 quarterback. You grew up watching the program. This is how you're supposed to do it. But what it came down to is you really have to continue to do the things that got you to that level and never really feel like you've arrived. So it was a hard lesson for me to learn, but I was fortunate to get another chance and try not to let it happen again.
Nick Rolovich, Coach Washington State, is our guest. You've got 4 kids, including twins. What are twins like?
Hey, I'm going to tell you this. Now, you can ask all the quarterbacks from the University of Nevada when I was doing my push-ups before practice, and I told them I'm going to have twins, and brought it into fruition. That's a true story. You can ask Cody Fajardo, Tyler Stewart. You can ask them all. You
saw it. It was like
I just made it happen.
You just said it's going to be twins.
That's your third eye look. You can see things.
What else do you see?
I see a Cougar team that is going to be excited to play football on Saturday. I think we'll fight. I think we'll play for each other. I think we'll have, I don't see a lot of selfish mistakes or penalties or look at me stuff going on. I think there's a team that's excited to play football after everything, and not just our team. Think about all the kids in college football, what they've gone through this year to get to a point to have any type of somewhat normalcy. And I think they all need to be commended because there's not many people in this world, and they got to be grateful because they get to do something that they love to do where that's not the case for most of the country right now.
What did Dad do for work, or what did Mom do? What kind of household was it? Fireman.
Fireman, yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah, it's awesome. Fireman, electrician. So a lot of electrical tape, fire hoses. Fire trucks, ringing bells, ladders going up, sliding down poles. It's awesome.
Not boring.
But
not a boring childhood. And firemen are resourceful too. They figure things out.
Yeah. And good cooks.
Interesting.
Good cooks, and they cook a lot of food, so there's leftovers. I've learned that too.
Did Dad play football? Or was he around football?
No. More in the baseball realm, but he's enjoyed it.
You've got a lot of people wondering what you're going to look like on offense. How do you feel about your quarterbacks?
I think they've they've done really well with the amount of time they've had in the system. I think the coaching staff on the offensive side of the ball has, I don't know if you tone it down, but you have to temper your expectations of getting everything we had last year in with Cole McDonald and that receiving crew that had worked at it for a few years. So I was really on them to be conscious of, what we're putting in, why we're putting in, can it wait, especially when we got the schedule. What are we going to be using early in the season, versus the Beavs and Oregon, and what can be pushed a little bit. What do we want to be good at? The worst thing we can do is come out and not play with any confidence.
Can you teach a quarterback to be a leader, or does the guy have to have that, and maybe you dial it up a little bit, or does the quarterback have to be your leader? I
think you sharpen it, but I think there's really something to the personality type of the quarterbacks. I've been June Jones and Dan Morrison, who were my coaches at Hawaii, really were into that personality typing and quarterbacking, and a lot of the great quarterbacks had similar Myers-Briggs test results, and so we, in a normal year, we do some of that with our quarterbacks and our quarterback recruits, to be honest with you.
All right, so
it helps you learn how to coach them too, right? It gives you an idea. This guy doesn't, learns this way, or this is his personality, and you got to be able to adjust as a coach. How do you think
this high school not being played in some states is going to affect how you recruit kids, or what is the effect of that right now?
I'm worried about the 22 class. With the seniors coming back this year, what is going to be the plan when you go from 100 scholarships and needing to go back down to 85 with the whole 22 class sitting there ready to be recruited? I think the number crunch, it could squeeze some kids out of the 22 class, and not, we'll still get to 85, but will the opportunity still be there for those kids in the 22 class? I right now, it doesn't look like it would be the same as normal years.
And where do they go? What happens to those kids?
Well, that's the question that needs to get answered, and I think as our, we don't want less people playing football, because that just means less people are in college. And I think we need to keep that in mind as we make decisions moving forward. Just like the transfer portal, right? Transfer portal, you get in, that doesn't mean you're going to get out somewhere on scholarship. Those numbers are wild, the guys that get in, and you got to assume they don't get a scholarship somewhere else. There's not enough money to go around. Now are they even in college still?
Let's say they put you and I in charge of the NCAA and all these rules. Are we giving more scholarships? What are we doing?
We can either let's go 100, 95, 90, back down to 85 in some gradual plan, or let's give it a roll in 85,
Yeah, because I think you're right.
Then you got initials, you got people gray shirt, and you got people blue shirt, and you got all these ways to try to make it work. I don't know, to me it just seems like a waste of time to skirt the system when, if a guy transfers out and you need another guy, you need another guy.
Are you a reader? Do you have like a book on your nightstand? What are you reading?
Yeah. Right now? Well, I just finished. I wish I was more consistent staying with one book. I really like Silk Roads. It's a big book, but it talks about the history of the world from the perception of the Middle East and Persia, and it really is a fun read for me. I'm reading a financial story about just the banking system and the history of banks and things like that. What else am I reading? Go ahead.
No, I think your background, your degree at Hawaii, was it economics?
Yeah.
Did that always interest you, or do you pick that why did you pick economics?
No, junior college guy, so had trouble getting into business school. I didn't even know why I wanted to be in the business school, but I wanted to learn about money, and economics was an easier path to get something that I thought would be useful. And it's really, I've enjoyed, I'm glad I get more and more appreciative of that degree as I get older. So I think it's been useful for myself.
I was an English literature major, and I kind of wish I had done history, because I find myself like I have a
read
little.
That book.
Yeah, I wrote it down. So I think I'll grab it. Cal in Washington,
here's another one.
Yeah.
Here's another one. This one will change your life. This one changed my life. And we had Y2K happen in 2000. I'm down. I read a book called The Magic of Thinking Big.
Okay.
You should take that one. That's
I like the title. No small plans. That's what I say.
There you go.
I'm watching Washington and Cal. They've been postponed. That's going to be a no contest. Does that spark a conversation with your guys about, hey, we got to be diligent, or are you having that conversation anyway?
We're having it. I mean, for me, we just got done with Halloween weekend, and Saturday before or Friday before the weekend starts, and what I've been told historically, Pullman does Halloween up real well. I told the guys, you see where we're at. We got a game next week. If you want to go get COVID and drop a bomb on this team, the decisions you make. I'm not going to go sit outside your house or sit outside, So I said, if you guys want to play, after everything you guys have been through, I think you'll make good decisions and keep yourselves accountable, hold each other accountable. And I was worried about, these tests in the last few days because, it takes a few days to show up, blah, 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 and it's been clean. So that tells me that this team at least wants to play football.
You go to Reser Stadium, your first game. There will not be fans inside the stadium. Is that going to help quarterbacks to not have to deal with crowd noise?
Well, I think everyone's going to have some kind of ambient noise type deal. So I'm sure there'll be some kind of depends how creative your fans are and where if they can get in the QB's head or any player's head, really.
Yeah.
You won't have to worry about that. You got that damn chainsaw. How come a beaver needs a chainsaw? I thought they got those teeth. I mean, here's crying out loud.
Hey, I used to cover the WAC, I think, when you were playing in Mountain West later, but I'd go to that stadium in Hawaii, and in the press box, it felt like we were swaying back and forth with all the Hawaiians inside the stadium.
You were.
It didn't feel safe, I think it's going to be weird to be in football stadiums and look down and maybe be able to hear stuff that's going on in the field. And I've wondered in the NFL, I don't see a lot of quarterbacks in the red zone having to go first sound. They're looking at the safeties so they can hear the safeties talking. I just wonder if the good quarterbacks are, going to be able to make hay in this Pac-12 season.
I think they will. I think this is traditionally been a good quarterback league. I think I understand, people recently have talked. I mean, there's some negative talk about our conference, but look at not even the head coaches. Leave the head coaches at it. Look at the talent in the coaching staffs throughout this conference. I mean, there's talented guys who have cut their teeth coming up or have really had success in the game. I mean, I think it has a chance to be, if we can get all the games in, have a real special year.
You cross paths. You mentioned June Jones. If you never cross paths with him, how different is your life, your career, your style?
I'm probably putting out fires and saving cats.
I love that. Did your dad ever bring home a cat?
No, I never brought home a cat.
Yeah.
But see, I was on the bench. Like I was telling you, I won the starting job, got benched because I didn't perform well, didn't prepare well, and then. I was about to take the fireman test in San Francisco after our away game at Nevada. I was all set to pick me. They're going to pick me up, drive me down, take the test. And then 9/11 hit, and game got postponed, and I missed the fireman test. And then I start the next game, and I'm sitting here in Pullman looking at Martin Stadium and ready to go play the Beavers. So it's amazing how life works.
I think it works out for a reason. Nick Rolovich, I appreciate you. Thank you for giving us your time, and I love hearing about your family and your upbringing as well. I think it helps us understand who you are as well. So thank you for doing that.
All right. Thanks for having me on.